Each and every one of the people who I'll be introducing are people that I want to listen to. If you want the references, if you want the science, you go to Dr. Timmy Trader. Whenever I'm stuck with a client or a piece of information that I just don't fully understand, my first stop is Dr. Timmy Trader.
Why I did it? Because it works. That's the bottom line. So I finally, one day, September 6th, 1990, I decided just to give it my all. I went 100% raw, whole food, plants, and I haven't looked back. I haven't had an asthma attack since 1 year after starting, actually 1 month after starting raw food. When I started, I was 30 years old. And I said, it took me 30 years to find this, but give me another 30 years and I'll be one heck of a 60-year-old. And you know what? I think I'm doing a whole lot better than most of the other 60-year-olds that I know. Most people are plant-based, whether they want to or not. I mean, you go to your packaged foods in the store and most of them have corn or soy as a base. So I like to be more exact and say 100% whole plant food diet. So just so when you say plant-based, we're talking about the same thing here.
Yeah, I like plant exclusive personally, and I love Dr. King.
I like that.
But like you say, I always say I'm plant exclusive because plant-based, you could be 51% meat, 49% meat or crap. So I like saying
Right.
because then it feels like you're very exclusive. I'm a plant exclusive diet. There's so much about what you guys do that I do that I feel like we are more kindred spirits than not. Like, so for example, what I love about Dr. Graham's work is that he's 80-10-10, but I think so am I, even though I eat cooked food. He's SOS free or SOFAS free. He doesn't include sugar, oil, flour, alcohol, salt. Neither do I.
Neither do I.
Yeah, and so I think, and also he's low fat, and so am I. So with the exception of that, I do cook some of my food. I feel like I'm kind of more on your team than not on your team.
You are 100% on my team. If 50% raw works for them, fantastic. Do you want to call yourself a raw foodist? Some people do at 50% raw. Okay, great. Who cares? I want to see people be the healthiest that they possibly can. Bottom line, they go, fruit is bad for you. Well, let's just quickly talk about this a little bit.
That drives me crazy, Dr. Trader. I'm listening to this Alzheimer's summit now, and it's like paleo and keto, and it's like high fat, and it's like, it drives me crazy that people do it and believe it, and it's so unsustainable, and it's so unhealthy, and it's so not delicious. I mean, what would you rather eat, coconut oil or watermelon?
Is there a choice there, really?
I mean, I just don't get it. It's just ridiculous. I've never seen an obese person walking around eating an apple. I've never seen it.
Dietary risks are the number one reason for death in the United States. The number one on their list is of the most important dietary risk, not eating enough fruit. It is responsible for an estimated 4.9 million deaths a year around the world. Food is not the only thing that we need to be healthy with. We need sleep, exercise, stress reduction, just to mention a couple of things. One McDonald's Big Mac has 540 calories, 7 ounces. You would have to eat 9 medium oranges to meet the same calorie content of that Big Mac. And the oranges weigh 2.5 pounds, yes, without the skins, or 3.5 times the Big Mac for the same calorie content. That takes up a whole lot more room than that little Big Mac. So we wonder why people aren't getting a whole lot in, because their stomach has literally shrunken from years and years of eating processed industrial foods.
Yeah, so people are asking, like, what supplements do you recommend?
So I'm very adamant about B12. And if you looked at my chronometer, you saw that there was 2 different B12s. Our food is really what we need. And food has so many extras to it that without those extras, you don't absorb and utilize the nutrients as well. And so when we isolate a supplement, we're not getting all those little extras.
There's some people that follow a different type of raw diet that is like really high in fat. Are there any benefits to that? Because to me, it seems like my diet, which includes cooked foods and starches, would be healthier than the designer raw food diet that has a lot of things like coconut oil and agave and, all that high-end, beautiful restaurant type raw food.
I agree 100%. I would rather see them doing some cooked food and lower. You get too much fat in the blood and it messes things up again and again and again. I don't care if it's plant. I don't care if it's animal. I don't care if it's carnivore. The diets that are high in fat just don't work.
Adina says, how much fat do you include in your diet percentage-wise, and how much avocado do you eat in a day?
I do about 15% fat.
Does Dr. Trader use avocado?
Yes. I don't gorge on it. But yeah, nut seeds, avocado.
Nice. And Rosalind says, are fermented foods included in the raw diet?
Absolutely not.
If somebody wants to incorporate some cooked food, do you think like steamed vegetables is the way to go, or things like maybe sweet potatoes, which I think some people actually eat raw. So what's your hierarchy for including some raw, but high raw, but including some cooked?
It's about where they can go. It's about where you can go. If you have to have some cooked food, great. Steaming is the best. Whether you want to steam some veggies or you want to steam some sweet potato, I'm not a big fan of potatoes. But if you have to, then you have to. It's what little bit is there. It is not that big of a deal. Can't believe it's not soy sauce. It's 100% raw. You blend 1 large tomato, a squeeze of lime, 1 ounce of shelled and seeded sweet tamarind, or more if you like it thicker, and 1 large stalk of celery. It has a umami taste because of the glutamic acid content, but is not heated or fermented and is not turned into glutamate. Some people don't know what a tamarind is. This is a tamarind. It has a hard outer shell, and inside it has a fruit, and there's supposed seeds in there too. You have to take those out. Sweet tamarind really makes a really nice, can't believe it's not soy sauce. Everybody that I've known who has done raw for more than 2 years and then gone to cooked always said they don't have the energy or the vitality feeling that they had when they were raw. So I always ask the question, why aren't you going back to raw? Well, it's not convenient. Well, then you make your choices. But no, there hasn't been any studies saying that raw foodists live longer than anybody else. But we do know that more plant foods in your diet have been shown to give us fantastic longevity. So I say do the best plant diet that you can and see where it leads. Because there's no guarantees. You don't necessarily get cold because you're on a raw food diet. In actuality, when you drink something hot, your blood pools to the stomach in trying to protect from the heat. And so you don't get it in your extremities. The blood goes away from your extremities. So we have a mindset that makes us feel like, yeah, we get cold when we're not eating warm food. But in the reality is there's no science behind it.
Can a bodybuilder eat all raw and still gain muscle?
Can you build muscle? Yeah. But if you're not overdoing your protein, you won't create inflammation, and the inflammation will not give you size. I mean, the inflammation gives you size in your muscle. And so if you're going to eat a raw diet, you're not going to get the size a bodybuilder wants. You will get the strength. Ask Dr. Graham. You will get the strength, but you won't get size. Now, if you do a raw food diet with some protein powders and you overdo your protein, you will create inflammation and you will get size that bodybuilders want.
Max wants to know what kind of exercise you do.
I earn my meals. I do calisthenics before breakfast. I do weightlifting, slow style, before lunch. And I get on elliptical for a run before dinner. And then, of course, I stretch after running.
Do you have like a favorite raw food meal, or do you tend to kind of eat like, simply like kind of the same things day after day?
My favorite raw food meal is the one that I'm eating.
Good answer.
It's joyful every time that I eat. So it's a favorite right then.
That's a very good answer.